strategic brains behind the Leave campaign as chief executive of Vote Leave.
I think there's a common theme across the whole of the Western world since the financial crisis. The idea that people are resentful of the elite and how they're governing things and the establishment, and the fact they don't feel that government or the establishment are actually helping the average person. People felt really let down by the bankers, resentful of the politicians for having bailed out the banks and not punished them for what they did. And then over the 10 years since the financial crisis, we've seen a situation where people have seen the city prosper, but the average wage for blue-collar workers or working-class workers not go up one bit. And this led to a build-up, a resentment that basically the system isn't working in the favour of the common person.
So where did that anti-elitism sit in the fact that the Leave side won? How important was it?
It was a massive factor. It was crucial.
But haven't there always been powerful elites?
It is very true that elites have always run countries. I think what's new is the idea that international elites are running countries, and the idea that the elites of countries have more in common with the elites in other countries than they do with the people in their own country. So the people clubbing together in Davos to go skiing often seem to be happier hobnobbing with their sort of fellow members of the international elite rather than being in touch with their fellow countrymen. I think that's the new point, the global elite.
Others see some of these recent changes in global politics as proof of an exciting new dawn. One of these voices is Matthew Elliott, chief executive of Vote Leave.
What we're seeing is the emergence of a new ideological paradigm. Up until the 1980s, you basically had the Keynesian consensus. Then, of course, Thatcher came in and swept all of that away, mirrored in the US by Ronald Reagan. Then in the mid-1990s, you had the rise of the third way, Tony Blair and Bill Clinton and Gerhard Schroeder in Germany. And that was another key shift. And I think that has basically carried on until essentially now, where even politicians like David Cameron, I would say, would fit in that sort of third way mould. But now we've seen a change.
We're short of a word for this new era.
Perhaps it's the anti-establishment era. It's a fight back of the majority. And what I think we're moving towards is a system where actually politicians tap in again with what are the mainstream concerns of the majority of people in their country. And they are basically defending the national interests of those countries, defending the borders of the countries, and basically putting their countries first. You might say populist politics. I would say a more popular politics, one that's on the side of the majority of people in the country rather than the elite.